back to the Bold On Details channel. Right, this week we are back with another brand review, UK brand, the Detail Kitchen. Andy got in touch with me quite some time ago when he was developing this brand, so would I be interested in reviewing it? Of course, I'm not going to turn him down, and this is it. This is the small selection he's chucked my way. The whole idea of this is to, I think, try and get the younger guys in, the younger girls in. A lot of these products are scented, heavily scented. Now, there's a split camp for this. There's a lot of people out there that's going to go, I don't care much for what it smells like, as long as it doesn't stink to high heaven. It's not, you know, a foul odour. And other people are like, oh yeah, that might be interesting. Especially the younger, the women out there, which obviously we want to get more women involved in this. It's not being sexist, just want to get more women on board. Anyway, just dive straight into this. This is the Pest Control. This is a bug and bird muck remover. There's a number of ways you can use this. You can use this as a one spot cleaner. I've done this imagining that I've been to a car show, the car's got a fair bit of dust on it, and I've dampened the cloth, used it on the panel and removed it. Do you do it when you get home? Preferably you do, but if you're going to be, let's just say you're on holiday for example, sorry to go off on a tangent, and you don't have access to anything like cleaning stuff and you just want to get it off your car, I would rather remove this off my car and have, you know, the bird etchings on my clear coat and get rid of the swirls at a later date than just leave it on there and it do a hell of a lot of damage. So that's the idea of that, bird, muck and bug remover. All right, so we're going to be using that. The next one is the cinnamon scented premium car shampoo. As little as 10 ml you can use on the day. I've used 20 ml of that. Another one before we go onto the other exterior products is the ready to use and dilutable all-purpose cleaner. The heavily scented, and it does smell amazing, I have to agree. Oh my word, Willy Wonka. That is the chocolate scented quick detailer, the Chocolatier Luxury. And then ginger bead, not ginger bread, as I said it in one of my many Instagram posts. This is the sealant, the paint sealant. It's not a wet coat product, this is actually a spray-on paint sealant, and it does smell divine, especially when it's floating through the air. Oh my word, that is really nice. Anyway, as usual, enough gibber jabbering, roll the vid. So there we go then. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, shame on you for one thing. This is the rinse down stage. We didn't rinse down the entire car because it was quite sunny, so we just do the wheels first before we do anything else. Get rid of all the crud under the arches, and then 8-to-1 all-purpose cleaner in the pump sprayer on the tyre and on the arch. Give it a damn good scrub. Repeat the process if need be to get rid of the brown. And then load up your brush with a wheel cleaner or APC or TFR. Yes, I've busted out the PowerMax. That is PowerMax TFR. And we find that this breaks down the brake dust pretty quick. And that is a Kiln Green Monster cloth I was using. Better shot on this side of the car. I think he's due for some new rubber. And yes, it could do with being lowered, should I say. The suspension set up for these cars is quite pricey for coilovers for Suzuki Swifts. And he's been told by numerous people, don't mod your car. Yeah, watch this space. So repeat the process on the rest of the wheels, and then we are on to the first product. Pest Control. Now the best way to use this, obviously if you're near a power wash, is to rinse down the worst and then use this to get rid of it. Get rid of the rest of the muck. This is the real test. What does it do when it's been baked on a car? And yes, this will cause swirls because there is obviously dirt still on the car, but I want to see what this is like, how strong it is. So allow it to dwell, then dampen a microfiber. I said dampen a microfiber. Oh yeah, there he is. And then remove. Now of course this is a bit like, do you want to be kicked in the nuts or punched in the face? The main thing is to remove the bird muck as quick as possible because it etches into the clear coat. Yes, you're going to cause swirls, but this is a demo. Maybe you're stranded somewhere in the middle of Sainsbury's car park. I don't know, Lidl's, Aldi's, and the seagulls decided to shat its load on your car. This is the quickest way to get rid of it. Obviously not 100% safe, no it's not, but it gets rid of it. But there is some streaking issues. I'll talk about this later on. You can of course use this to remove bugs on the front end. No, it's not exactly bug ridden, I'll give you that. There's some on the headlights and some on the lower lip. Allow us to dwell very briefly and then rinse off. You can of course allow us to dwell even longer and then coat it with snow foam, which blankets over the product, giving it a longer dwell time. I want to see how strong it is. So once you're happy with your rinse down, and it seemed to do the trick to be honest with you, so onto the foam, the glorious Insta Foam. That is Angel Wax's Cleanliness. Yes, I'm still using oversized foam cannon. More APC. A bit of agitation. And we're on to the final rinse, or pre-wash rinse I should say, before we go on to the 2-bucket wash. Now Christmas is going to come early because we're on to the cinnamon fragrance shampoo. I chose to use 20ml on the day. You can use 10ml. First impressions of this is it's very, very foamy. It is rich in the suds. However, I would like a bit more lube in the shampoo. Yes, it's got some decent cleaning power, but a bit more slip I'd like. Don't forget, secondary mitt on the lower parts of the car. Don't trash your best mitt. Especially around this area, around the poo chute end. Just use your cheap Chinese wash pads or wash mitts. Final rinse down to reveal sod-all protection. It's been a while since it's had any LSP on it. And now we move on to the Divine Chocolate Quick Detailer. There is one downside to using this, and it's the fact because it smells so much, or smells so nice, you use a lot more of it. Yeah, quick Niff in the air. Breathe in. You're going to need 2 cloths. Although this does flash off and produces a lovely rich gloss, it can be a tad fussy. Probably down to my over application because of the smell. Try misting it rather than drowning the car in it. Mind you, it's a good way of selling products, isn't it? If it smells nice. There's always an angle from brands, there's always an angle. So you're going to flip the towel or use a secondary towel. Yes, definitely put too much on there, Paul. It is nice once you've buffed it off though. It's got a nice gloss. Now the car smells like Willy Wonka's. Not Willy Wonka's Willy Wonka's. Right, sidetracked again, Paul. This is Ginger Bead. This is the paint sealant, the sprayable paint sealant. So some light mist on the panel. You can just see it streaking over the panel. I have to say, this stuff is easy peasy to put on and to remove. Don't go mad with it, just a few sprays, a little goes a long way. Once you've applied this, there's no real cure time, it's just a case of a quick buff off. It tends to flash off incredibly quickly. There's no fussiness to this. I did find this a lot easier to apply than Sonax BSD, for example, but then again the longevity of Sonax is much greater than this. However, if you're just doing top-ups, this is ideal. More of a sheeting product than a beading product. Bear in mind that was flat before, there was no protection on there. So a nice top up. At the end of the day, we want something that's going to be nice and quick and easy to apply if you're just doing a weekend maintenance wash. Now, next product, onto the rather dark interior of the Suzuki. This is very, very dark. This is the all-purpose cleaner. Now you can dilute this. There's some rather, don't know what these are, these rather dodgy looking murder scene splats. There's some in the front of the vehicle and some in the rear. So I applied this and then agitated with a nice soft detail brush, thinking, this should do the trick once I bust out the steamer. Yeah, watch and learn. Bit more. Thinking it's not really doing a lot, it's not breaking it down. However, bit more agitation. And then the steamer gets busted out. So this seems to start breaking it down, although there's some more stubborn spots. I've got this rather small, stiffer detail brush to agitate the stubborn marks. Load up the brush a bit more, excuse the poor light. It could be pizza juice, it could be blood, it could be pollen from flowers, we don't know, but I've never come across anything so stubborn. Very, very strange. Another hit with a steamer. And then remove the rest of the residue. So after a bit more work on the rear of the car, it was around 85%. You can still see some marks in there. Don't know what that was. And that is it, ladies and gents.
Staring through the window, gazing at the sun, imagining the planet, this place where all begun. The solid shade of winter, shadows running cold, it swept away this instant of the brave we behold. Take it over, take it all, I believe in freedom.
Okie dokie, so what do we think about the detail kitchen? We're going to talk about the products individually, we're going to talk about the pluses and we're going to talk about the minuses and we're going to talk about the price. Right, the first one we had to hand was the pest control. Now, the best way to use this obviously is in conjunction with your other wash products. Use this first, it starts breaking down the bird muck and then power wash it off. I've done this as I would be like stuck somewhere and I've always got cloths in the car of some sort and bottled water, so because I do carry bottled water in the car just in case you get stuck or stranded. Dampen the cloth, spray it on, remove it. Yes, you're going to cause swirls if you've got dirt and dust on the car, but I'd rather have to get rid of that than try and get rid of bird etchings. And it did work, it does work very, very well, but there is a drawback. So this is the minus point. Don't use this in the sun. On the day, I try not to keep moving the car about. It's a pain in the bum when you're using a camera, and I did notice that this streaked quite a bit. Now, I did manage to remove the streaks, with quick detail, it sort of nulled it, but you do get some streaking issues, and because it obviously is fairly strong, it has to be strong to work. So be very, very careful where you use it. All right, just bear in mind if that's a baked on bird turd, then be very, very careful. That's the only downside I had with it, is a little bit streaky. Sorry guys, but I have to shoot the video, as I can't, you know, make stuff up. This is just on the day and it's streaked. So that's the only downside. Yes, it worked, but it's streaked. Then we come to the cinnamon scented shampoo. Now this smells absolutely fantastic. It's a really nice smelling product if you're into that sort of thing. 20 ml was used on the day. It foamed like crazy. The foaming part of it is amazing. The only thing I don't, it's not a dislike, but I didn't find, I'm trying to match this up with some of my really good shampoos. If I put this against people like Garage Therapy and Alien Magic, it didn't have the same slip as they did. It foams really, really well, but to me there's not enough lube in there, and I'd like to see a bit more slip on the day. That's on the day, all right? If you've used it, you see, you know, if you've had no issues, please put your comments down below. But on the day, not enough slip for me, but very, very nice smell. Then it comes to the chocolate quick detailer. Now this isn't too bad because the smell is amazing. Honestly, the smell of this is something else. It has got a, it does flash off. Don't do what I did. I put quite a bit on. The main problem is it smells so good. You're like, there you go, cool, that's nice. And then before you know it, the panel's saturated. You need 2 cloths or flip the towel over, but I would say 2 cloths. Once you've applied it, work it into the panel and then remove with a separate cloth. And yes, you do get a very, very nice gloss. It was a little bit streaky in places, but that was probably down to me over applying it. So that smells fantastic, but it's a tad fussy. Then we come down to the ginger bead. Now this was my favourite product. I actually used this on the Skoda after I did the video. It's not a huge longevity product. It's not, if you match this up with something like Sonax BSD, you're not going to get the same performance. You know, you're not going to get weeks and weeks and weeks. Spoke to Andy about this. You're probably looking at about 4 to 6 weeks. So this is aimed at the wash maintenance regime, or gloss top up, should I say, but is incredibly easy to use, bearing in mind it's a sealant. Now, why would you use the sealant against, say, the quick detailer? For me, I found that a lot easier to use than the quick detailer. I found that a little bit fussy. Possibly my application technique was wrong, but this is easy, really easy. 2 or 3 sprays. I mean, you saw on the bonnet, it didn't over apply it. You just haze it over and then flip the towel over and buff it off. Very, very easy. It's more of a sheeting product, that, rather than beading. I've noticed on my Skoda, it's not, you don't get those really sort of big beads. It's more of a sheeter. And 4 to 6 weeks, so, you know, regular use, I suppose. The last product, which I didn't really mention, is the vanilla ice cream car scent, which again smells incredible. Always nice size. These are the 100ml bottles. Always nice to keep in your glove box or in your console. Very, very nice. Yes, they probably last 3 or 4 days, maybe longer, however much you apply it. I mean, I get in my car sometimes, I just go squirt, squirt, squirt. Just freshens everything up. Smells very, very nice. Right, we're going to talk about prices now. These are quite affordable, which is quite nice because it's obviously pulling in a younger audience because of the whole smell thing. People out there, you're going, I just don't care about smells, Paul. Not really interested, but that's fair enough. It's a free country. You're entitled to your own opinion, but the younger generation might really like this, you know, might like the smells. Valitors and that, maybe not. So we're going to talk about prices, right? The first thing is the bird doo-doo remover. That's $8.99, okay? The shampoo, considering it's, I suppose it's pitched as a higher end shampoo, $12.99. So 10ml to 20ml, you know, not bad. I'd like to see a bit more lube in there. It comes down to the quick detailer. This is $9.99, fairly reasonably priced. And the sealant is $12.99, not too bad. And the ice cream 100ml is highly affordable, $2.99. So overall, the prices are pretty good. They're not, you know, it's fairly competitive. There is stuff out there is considerably cheaper. There is stuff out there is a lot more expensive. It's kind of mid-pitched, I suppose. So Put your comments in, what you think about things like this, heavily scented products, and the whole sort of kitchen, the foodie thing. I'd like to hear from you guys if you've used Detail Kitchen products, or if you want any more information. I'll obviously shoot the website down below. There is a load more products on the site. It's quite a nice site actually. It's been very well made. Some sites you think, oh god, you're struggling to find things, but it's a nice, easy site to get on with. So thanks to Andy for sending the products down. Please put your comments in. Please subscribe. Give it loads and loads of thumbs up, and we'll try and get to 10,000 before Christmas. Who knows? See you on the next one.